Good morning, Rolo. Muchacho, are you ready for Bookberry reading? Very excited. Hey, Leo. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Just gonna get up and refill my beverage. Bob. Hi. Bear Aqua. Ooh. Slupsis. Hello, how are you? Bob, welcome in. Honey. Okay. We've got an adorable cat. We have beverage. And we have Bookberry reading time. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, let's see what we got here. Now, there is construction work being done on my apartment, and unfortunately, it's not on mine, but in the building. And it's like right above me. So it's really loud on occasion. And I'm really... Hello? I'm also really feeling it because yesterday... On Tuesdays, I do the stream, and then I do an offline D&D game, and so my back's really feeling it. So we're going to do a little bit of a shorter stream today. I did want to read one chapter of each book, or like about the same, because I think the chapters in one are longer than the other. So we're going to read a little bit of two of our options for our books for the Bookberry book club that we're doing. And the books that we are trying to decide between right now are, I believe, The Dispossessed by Ursula Le Guin. And the second one is Bad Cree. And that one is by Jessica Johns. I'm just making sure I have both of those handy. I do. Okay. I'm also going to play some music here. Production berry. Let's see what we got. Let's start with this one. You already read both? I've read a tiny bit of each one. So, but I'm going to read the first chapter if I can, or a significant portion of it, of each one, so that we can preview and then vote. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the stream so people who aren't here can listen to it and then decide which one we're going to read together. I haven't read either book. Can you guys hear that when I'm speaking? You totally can, right? Test, 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 test. That one was one of the quieter ones. Yes. Oh, fucking hell, guys. Maybe today is not a good day to do the reading, but maybe with music you won't be able to hear it. So hold on. Or it just won't be as intense. The problem is this is happening like all week, you know? So what am I going to do? Just not stream? God. Nightmare. It's not so bad. Yeah, that's one of the more quieter ones. So we're going to hope. Like it was still really, really loud at 11 when I normally go live. And so I was just like, we're just going to wait. Because if it's this loud, we're not going to be able to stream. Oh, God, kill me. It's like this all day, dude. And I can't do anything except lay there and listen to Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is fine. But good Lord. At least do this to me when I can, like, walk around. Go for a walk, get outside the house. Slowly driving me mad. Okay, we're still loading some files here. They're upgrading the apartments, which is not, you know, it's pretty awesome. Mine's happening sometime next month, so I'll actually be gone for a couple days because they need to just be in the apartment and you can't be in here. So I have to, like, move all the furniture, cover it, and then let them, you know, be in here for a couple days to do whatever it is they're doing. How dare you need to be in your home? No, I mean, I can't be in my home. I have to be gone. Like, I have to get a hotel room because I have cats. It's fucking weird. Okay, it's still loading the craziest fucking files here. What's going on? Why are you taking so long to load? What's going on? I was gonna start with some Ursula. Oh. Hey, buddy. You can lay anywhere you want in the whole world, just not on the keyboard. Please. Thank you. Okay. How are you guys doing, though? Pretty good day, I hope. So far. A grand morning. Mario is begging me to take him outside. You got time, Muchachio. How long does that take you? I can wait till you come back. I mean, this is taking forever to fucking load anyway. Nah, I'm painting. Can't leave it now. Ah, okay. Oh yeah, I gotta DM you, dude. I want you. I want Stevie. I want Super Mega. I want Newt. I'm assembling the dream team for the Otherworld rule book. And I've told them that this is people assemble. Yeah, I've told them this is what I'm doing. They're all super on board, which is very exciting. But okay. Oh, hey guys, remember this? Oh, my heart. We're just going to listen to this. Yep. Hey Johnny, how are you? Welcome in, welcome in. God. Yankee and Dylan did this song, guys. Crazy. Also, I will say, this is the proper use of AI. And before you freak out, allow me to clarify. So Dylan wrote a few lyrics away from me, and then I had AI write lyrics because obviously the point, like, it's a fucking for a Blade Runner show. So we had some of those lyrics are just made by AI, which was really, really cool. It has been a very cold summer here. Ooh, not here. Okay, so we are ready. This loaded here. Let me just... Okay, that seems a bit intense. Good Lord. We're listening to this for just a second. Is this one a little less intense? Nope. I mean, the thing is I don't know. I don't know what the book is like. I don't know what the tone is of the book. I mean, I know a little bit, but... This one's not bad. It's got that like sci-fi vibe. What are you doing, baby? What are you doing? Again, You can lay anywhere you want in the whole world except the keyboard. So right here would be preferred. Thank you. I'm not feeling this one as much. I mean, it's great, but not for... I need something that's like... Not that. Oh, of course he's going to lay on the keyboard. I am feeling like this might be potentially okay. Maybe a little bit of a darker one is better. Has anybody read this book? We're going to go with this. This is my instinct, so we're going to do it. Okay. What book? The Dispossessed by Ursula Le Guin. So we're doing... welcome in, everyone. Hi. We are going to be reading one chapter of two different books that we are trying to decide between in our little Bookberry book club that we are going to read next. The first one is The Dispossessed. We are doing a book club, and we're going to get a link to it right now. Oh, I promised everyone I would tag them. Hold on. That's okay. There's no rush. I'm doing it right now. Okay. All right. Who wanted the book club tag? Oh, yes! Will of the Many! Becca! Yes! Okay, let me... we're gonna do... Where are they? I think we technically have the book club tag already. Ooh, there's a lot of people on here, and I'm worried that we're gonna tag a bunch. Shit. Well, I mean, they wanted to... Okay. Book club... I've also joined the train of Will of the Many. So here's what we were thinking that we would do, honestly. And I really like it a lot. And it's the idea that we'll tag things the way that they're done in Table Story. So we might have a couple of different books that we're reading that people can comment on. Because we've got a couple people that are reading Will of the Many. Plus, I also want to know feedback on Will of the Many. So if you're currently reading Will of the Many, then you just do Will of the Many, and then you do the spoiler, and then you react. And then that way people who are reading Will of the Many can react to it. There are a couple of people who are reading Brandon Sanderson together. So basically we're gonna be reading a couple of different things. We're gonna be a little bit casual about it. It's gonna be super fun. Don't want anyone getting, pressured. Okay, I think I got everyone. Hold on. Let me just double check. Oops. Okay, let's see. Holy crow. Book club. Okay, awesome. Ooh, this is very intense. I'm loving it. The tension is building. Okay. Okay, I think I got everyone. I'm just going to do one quick double check because I promised everybody that I would tag when we were starting. Pretty sure I got Yvonne already. Book club. Okay, awesome. I definitely have Moz already, right? Oh wow, I searched Moz and it came up with all of the people talking to Moz rather than Moz. There we go. Book club. I had missed Moz. Okay, I think I got everybody else. All right, perfect. So I'm going to go into Bookberries channel here. I'm going to go ahead and tag book club. Oh, I should probably just make it easy on your lives, huh? And give you the link. Okay. Oh! Oh my god, perfect timing. Holy shit. Hello, welcome in everybody. Hey! Lucid, how you doing? You guys have arrived just in time. We are trying to decide on what book we're going to read next in our book club. And I'm going to read the first chapter of our two options. So you have arrived just in time. I'm off to get inked. Oh my god! Have fun! Have water! I'm sure you know all of those things, but eat and have water, because the last tattoo I got, I did neither sleep, eat, or have water, and god damn it hurt. God damn it hurt. I stayed up all night playing games, and then I immediately went, and oh boy. Regrets. I have them. Okay. Welcome in, everyone. I adore you all so much. I have a question for you. Is it hurts less if you sleep, drink water, and eat beforehand? Yes. Book club, I suggest Dungeon Crawler Carl. I am on chapter 24 of Dungeon Crawler Carl right now. It's great. But we are choosing two different books. So the book club is super casual. People can read whatever the hell they want. We got people reading Will of the Many right now. We definitely have some people reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, but we're picking we're picking between two books right now to also read together. We are choosing between The Dispossessed by Ursula Le Guin, and then the other option is Bad Cree by Jessica Johns. So we're going to be reading the first chapter of each of those right now. And we're going to start, I think, with The Dispossessed. So let me open this one here. Perfect timing. Can I read this from here? Can you increase the font size for me, please? I've got my little ebook reader on here. Okay, perfect. Okay. Now, those of you who have just come in from Lucid's stream, I just have a quick question. Has anybody read this book already, The Dispossessed? Yes, simple yes or no works. And then the second question, is this track okay for backing? I know it's sci-fi, but I don't know if it's like, you know, I don't know what kind of sci-fi it is because I haven't read it. Simple yes or no will do. Everyone's like, no, you know what? You're on your own. Yes, okay, you're perfect. Thank you, King. All right. Let's do this, bitches. Gonna add a marker so that we can highlight this later. Okay. Chapter 1. There was a wall. It did not look important. It was built of uncut rocks roughly mortared. An adult could look right over it, and even a child could climb it. Where it crossed the roadway, instead of having a gate, it degenerated into more geometry, a line, an idea of boundary. But the idea was real. It was important. For 7 generations, there had been nothing in the world more important than that wall. Like all walls, it was ambiguous, two-faced. What inside it was what was outside it, depended upon which side of it you were on. Looked at it from one side, the Watt enclosed a barren 60-acre field called the Port of Anares. On the field, there were a couple of large gantry cranes, a rocket pad, 3 warehouses, a truck garage, and a dormitory. The dormitory looked durable, grimy, and mournful. It had no gardens, no children. Plainly, nobody lived there, or was even meant to stay there long. It was, in fact, a quarantine. The wall shut in not only the landing field, but also the ships that came down out of space, and the men that came on the ships, and the worlds they came from, and the rest of the universe. It enclosed the universe, leaving Anaris outside, free. Looked at from the other side, the wall enclosed Anaris. The whole planet was inside it, a green, great prison camp, cut off from the other worlds and other men, in quarantine. A number of people were coming along the road towards the landing field or standing around where the road cut through the wall. People often came out from nearby city of Abinay in hopes of seeing a spaceship or simply to see the wall. After all, it was the only boundary wall on their world. Nowhere else could they see a sign that said no trespassing. Adolescents, particularly, were drawn to it. They came up to the wall. They sat on it. There might be a gang to watch, offloading crates from trucks at the warehouses. There might even be a freighter on the pad. Freighters came down only 8 times a year, unannounced except to Syndics, actually working at the port. So when the spectators were lucky enough to see one, they were excited at first. But there they sat, and there it sat, a squat black tower in a mess of movable cranes, away off across the field. And then a woman came over from one of the warehouse crews and said, "We're shutting down for today, brothers." She was wearing the defense armband, a sight almost as rare as a spaceship. That was a bit of a thrill. But though her tone was mild, it was final. She was the foreman of this gang, and if provoked, would be backed up by her syndics. And anyhow, there wasn't anything to see. The aliens, the off-worlders, stayed hiding in their ship. They were a no-show. It was a dull show for the defense crew, too. Sometimes the foreman wished that somebody would just try to cross the wall, an alien crewman jumping ship, or a kid from Abinay trying to sneak in for a closer look. But it never happened. Nothing ever happened. When something did happen, she wasn't ready for it. The captain of the freighter, mindful, said to her, "Is that mob after my ship?" The foreman looked and saw that in fact there was a real crowd around the gate, 100 or more people. They were standing around, just standing, the way people had stood at train stations during the famine. It gave the foreman a scare. "No, they, protest," she said in her slow and limited Lodic. "Protest the, passenger?" "You mean they're after this bastard we're supposed to take? Are they going to try to stop him or us?" The word bastard, untranslatable in the foreman's language, meant nothing to her except some kind of foreign term for her people, but she had never liked the sound of it or the captain's tone, or the captain. "Can you look after you?" she asked briefly. Hell yeah! You just get the rest of this cargo unloaded quick. And get this passenger bastard on board. No mob of oddies is about to give us any trouble." He patted the thing he wore on his belt, a metal object like a deformed penis, and looked patronizingly at the unarmed woman. She gave the phallic object, which she knew was a weapon, a cold glance. "Ship will be loaded by 14 hours, she said. "Keep crew on board safe. Lift off at 14 hours 40. If you need help, leave message on tape at ground control." She strode off before the captain could one-up her. Anger made her more forceful with her crew and the crowd. "Clear the road there," she ordered as she neared the wall. "Trucks are coming through. Somebody's going to get hurt. Clear aside." The men and women in the crowd argued with her and with one another. They kept crossing the road, and some came inside the wall. Yet they did more or less clear the way. If the foreman had no experience in bossing a mob, they had no experience in being in one. Members of a community, not elements of a collectivity, they were not moved by mass feeling. There were as many emotions as there were people, and they did not expect commands to be arbitrary, so they had no practice in disobeying them. Their inexperience saved the passenger's life. Some of them had come there to kill a traitor. Others had come to prevent him from leaving, or to yell insults at him, or to just look at him. And all these others obstructed the sheer, brief path of the assassins. None of them had firearms, though a couple had knives. Assault to them meant bodily assault. They wanted to take the traitor into their own hands. They expected him to come guarded in a vehicle, while they were trying to inspect a goods truck and arguing with its outraged driver. The man they wanted came walking up the road, alone. When they recognized him, he was already halfway across the field, with 5 defense syndics following him. Those who had wanted to kill him resorted to pursuit, too late, and to rock throwing, not quite too late. They barely winged the man they wanted just as he got to the ship, but a 2-pound flint caught one of the defense crew on the side of the head and killed him on the spot. The hatches of the ship closed. The defense crew turned back, carrying their dead companion. They made no effort to stop the leaders of the crowd, who came racing towards the ship, though the foreman, white with shock and rage, cursed them to hell as they ran past, and they swerved to avoid her. Once at the ship, the vanguard of the crowd scattered and stood irresolute. The silence of the ship, the abrupt movements of the huge skeletal gantries, the strange burned look of the ground, the absence of anything in human scale, disoriented them. A blast of steam or gas from something connected with the ship made some of them start. They looked uneasy at the rockets, vast black tunnels overhead. A siren whooped in warning far across the field. First, one person, and then another, started back towards the gate. Nobody stopped them. Within 10 minutes, the field was clear. The crowd scattered out along the road to Abernay. Nothing appeared to have happened after all. Inside the Mindful, a great deal was happening. Since ground control had pushed launch time up, all routines had to be rushed through in double time. The captain had ordered that the passenger be strapped down and locked in the crew lounge, along with the doctor, to get them out from underfoot. There was a screen in there. They could watch the liftoff if they liked. The passenger watched. He saw the field and the wall around the field, and far outside the wall, the distant slopes of the Netheris, speckled with scrub holum and sparse, silvery moontham. All this suddenly rushed, dazzling down the screen. The passenger felt his head pressed back against the padded rest. It was like a dentist's examination, the head pressed back, the jaw forced open. He could not get his breath. He felt sick. He felt his bowels loosen with fear. His whole body cried out to the enormous forces that had taken hold of him. Not now, not yet, wait. His eyes saved him. What they insisted on seeing and reporting to him took him out of the autism of terror. For on the screen now was a strange sight, a great pallid plain of stone. It was the desert seen from the mountains above Grand Valley. How had he got back to Grand Valley? He tried to tell himself he was in an airship. No, in a spaceship. The edge of the plain flashed with the brightness of light on water, light across a distant sea. There was no water in those deserts. What was he seeing then? The stone plain was no longer plain, but hollow, like a huge bowl full of sunlight. As he watched in wonder, it grew shallower, spilling out its light. All at once, a line broke across it, abstract, geometric, the perfect section of a circle. Beyond that arc was blackness. This blackness reversed the whole picture, made it negative. The stone part of it, was no longer concave and full of light, but convex, reflecting, rejecting light. It was not a plane or a bowl, but a sphere, a ball of white stone falling down in blackness, falling away. It was his world. I don't understand, he said aloud. Someone answered him. For a while, he failed to comprehend that the person standing by his chair was even speaking to him, answering him, for he no longer understood what an answer is. He was clearly aware of only one thing, his own total isolation. The world had fallen out from under him, and he was left alone. He had always feared that this would happen, more than he had ever feared death. To die is to lose the self and rejoin the rest. He had kept himself and lost the rest. He was able to at last look up at the man standing beside him. It was a stranger, of course. From now on, there would be only strangers. He was speaking in a foreign language, Lodic. The words made sense. All the little things made sense. Only the whole thing did not. The man was saying something about the straps that held him into the chair. He fumbled at them. The chair swung upright, and he nearly fell out of it, being giddy and off balance. The man kept asking if someone had been hurt. Who was he talking about? Is he sure he didn't get hurt? The polite form of the direct address in Lodic was in the third person. The man meant himself. He did not know why he should have been hurt. The man kept saying something about throwing rocks. But the rock will never hit, he thought. He looked back at the screen for the rock, the white stone falling down in darkness, but the screen had gone blank. I am well, he said at last, at random. It did not appease the man. Please come with me. I'm a doctor. But I am well. Please come with me, Dr. Shivak. You are a doctor? Shivak said after a pause. I am not. I am called Shivak. The doctor, a short, fair, bald man, grimaced with anxiety. You should be in your cabin, sir. Danger of infection. You weren't to be in contact with anybody but me. I've been through 2 weeks of disinfection for nothing. God damn that, Captain. Please come with me, sir, or I'll be held responsible. Shivak perceived that the little man was upset. He felt no compunction, no sympathy, but even where he was, in absolute solitude, the one law held, the one law he had ever acknowledged. All right, he said, and stood up. He still felt dizzy, and his right shoulder hurt. He knew the ship must be moving, but there was no sense of motion. There was only a silence, an awful, utter silence, just outside the walls. The doctor led him through silent metal corridors to a room. It was a very small room with seamed, blank walls. It repelled Shivak, reminding him of a place he did not want to remember. He stopped in the doorway, but the doctor urged and pleaded, and he went on in. He sat down on the shelf-like bed, still feeling lightheaded and lethargic, and watched the doctor incuriously. He felt he ought to be curious. This man was the first Urusty he had ever seen. But he was too tired. He could have lain back and gone straight to sleep. He had been up all night the night before, going through his papers. 3 days ago, he had seen Takvar and the children off to peace and plenty, and ever since then he had been busy, running out to the radio tower to exchange last-minute messages with the people on Urus, discussing plans and possibilities with Betup and the others. All through these hurried days, ever since Takvar left, he had felt not that he was doing all the things he did, but that they were doing him. He had been in other people's bands. His own will had not acted. It had no need to act. It was his own will that had started it all, that had created this moment and these walls about him now. How long ago? Years. 5 years ago, in the silence of night, in Shakar in the mountains, when he had said to Takvar, "I will go to Abanay and unbuild walls." Before then even, long before, in the dust, in the years of famine and despair, when he had promised himself that he would never act again but by his own free choice. And following that promise, he had brought himself here, to this moment without time, this place without an earth, this little room, this prison. The doctor had examined his bruised shoulder. The bruise puzzled Shevek. He had been too tense and hurried to realize what had been going on at the landing field. He never felt the rock strike him. Now, he turned to him, folding an hypodermic needle. "I do not want that," Shevek said. His spoken Lodic was slow, and he knew from the radio exchanges, badly pronounced, but it was grammatical enough. He had more difficulty understanding than speaking. "This is measles vaccine," said the doctor, professionally deaf. "No," Shevek said. The doctor chewed his lip for a moment and said, "Do you know what measles is, sir?" "No." "A disease, contagious, often severe in adults. You don't have it on Anaris. Prophylactic measures kept it out when the planet was settled. It's common on Eurus. It could kill you. So could a dozen other common viral infections. You have no resistance. Are you right-handed, sir?" Shevek automatically shook his head. With the grace of a prestidigitator, the doctor slid the needle into his right arm. Shevek submitted to this and other injections in silence. He had no right to suspicion or protest. He had yielded himself up to these people. He had given up his birthright of decision. It was gone, fallen away from him along with his world, the world of the promise, the barren stone. The doctor spoke again, but he did not listen. For hours or days he existed in a vacancy, a dry and wretched void without past or future. The walls stood tight around him. Outside them was the silence. His arms and buttocks ached from injections. He ran a fever that never quite heightened to delirium, but left him in a limbo between reason and unreason. No man's land. There was no time. Time did not pass. He was time. He only. He was the river, the arrow, the stone. But he did not move. The throne rock hung still at midpoint. There was no day or night. Sometimes the doctor switched the light off or on. There was a dock set in the wall by the bed. Its pointer moved from one to another of the 20 figures of the dial. Meaningless. He woke after long, deep sleep, and since he was facing the dock, studied it deeply. Its pointer stood at a little after 15, which, if the dial was read from midnight like the 24-hour Anarasti clock, should mean that it was mid-afternoon. But how could it be mid-afternoon in space, between two worlds? Well, the ship would keep its own time after all. Figuring all this out heartened him immensely. He sat up and did not feel giddy. He got out of bed and tested his balance. Satisfactory, though he felt that the soles of his feet were not quite firmly in contact with the discussing plans and possibilities with... Oh wait, that went the wrong way. I'm so sorry. Was not in contact with the floor. The ship's gravity field must be rather weak. He did not much like the feeling. What he needed was steadiness, solidity, firm fact. In search of these, he began methodically to investigate the little room. The blank walls were full of surprises, all ready to reveal themselves at a touch on the panel. Washstand, shit stool, mirror, desk, chair, closet, shelves. There were several completely mysterious electrical devices connected with the washstand, and the water valve did not cut off when you released the faucet, but kept pouring out until shut off. A sign, Shevek thought, either of great faith in human nature or of great quantities of hot water. Assuming the latter, he washed all over, and finding no towel, dried himself with one of the mysterious devices, which emitted a pleasant tickling blast of warm air. Not finding his own clothes, he put back on those he had found himself wearing when he woke up, loose tied trousers and a shapeless tunic, both bright yellow with small blue spots. He looked at himself in the mirror. He thought the effect unfortunate. Was this how they dressed on Urus? He searched in vain for a comb, made do by braiding back his hair, and so groomed made to leave the room. Man, this fucking ebook is fucked, dude. The letter, sometimes it's B when it should be H. Like, some of these words are typed wrong. I don't know how this happened. He could not. The door was locked. Shevek's first incredulity turned to rage. A kind of rage, a blind will to violence which he had never felt before in his life. He wrenched at the immovable door handle, slammed his hands against the slick metal of the door, then turned and jabbed the call button, which the doctor had told him to use at need. Nothing happened. There were a lot of other little numbered buttons of different colors on the intercom panel. He hit his hand across the whole lot of them. The wall speaker began to babble. Who the hell? Yes, coming right away. Out. Clear from what? 22? So could a dozen other common viral... Wait, god damn it went the wrong way again. Shevek drowned them all out. Unlock the door! The door slid open. The doctor looked in. At the sight of his bald, anxious, yellowish face, Shevek's wrath cooled, and he retreated into an inward darkness. He said, the door was locked. I'm sorry, Dr. Shevek. A precaution. Contagion. Keeping the others out. To lock out, to lock in, the same act, Shevek said, looking down at the doctor with light, remote eyes. Safety. Safety? Must I be kept in a box? The officer's lounge, the doctor offered, hurriedly, appeasingly. Are you hungry, sir? Perhaps you'd like to get dressed and we'll go to the lounge. Shevek looked at the doctor's clothing, tight blue trousers tucked into boots that looked as smooth and fine as who the fuck knows what this word is. Because it's literally AADOTH. What? What? Okay. Huh? It's just I think it's the ebook for this, unfortunately. But that's okay. I'll see if I can get it, buy another copy, I guess. A violet tunic opened down the front and reclosed with silver frogs. Yeah, buddy! And under that, showing only at neck and wrists, a knit shirt of dazzling white. I am not dressed? Shevek inquired at last. Oh, pajamas will do, by all means. No formalities on a freighter. Pajamas? What you're wearing? Sleeping clothes. Clothes to wear while sleeping? Yes. Shevek blinked. He made no comment. He asked, "Where are the clothes I wore?" "Your clothes? I had them cleaned. Sterilization. I hope you don't mind, sir." He investigated a wall panel Shevek had not discovered and brought out a packet wrapped in pale green paper. He unwrapped Shevek's old suit. Adoth is apparently a minor surname in India. Ooh, okay, so it's spaced though. It's AA and then Doth separately. So maybe there just wasn't supposed to be a space. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. He unwrapped Shevek's old suit, which looked very clean and somewhat reduced in size, wadded up the green paper, activated another panel, tossed the paper into the bin that opened, and smiled uncertainly. "There you are, Dr. Shevek." "What happens to the paper?" The paper, sir?" "The green paper." "Oh, I put it in the trash." "Trash?" "Disposal. It gets burned up." "You burn paper?" "Perhaps it just gets dropped out into space. I don't know. I'm no space medic, Doctor." "Shevek." Oh, Jesus, there's a whole space here that doesn't... There's a whole double line. "I'm no space medic, Dr. Shevek. I was given the honor of attending you because of my experience with other visitors from off-world, the ambassadors from Terra and from Ham. I run the decontamination procedure for all aliens arriving in AIO. Not that you're exactly an alien in the same sense, of course." He looked timidly at Shevek, who could not follow all he said, but did discern the anxious, diffident, well-meaning nature beneath the words. "No," Shevek assured him. "Maybe I have the same grandmother as you, 200 years ago, on Urus." He was putting on his old clothes, and as he pulled the shirt up over his head, he saw the doctor stuff the blue and yellow sleeping clothes into the trash bin. Shevek paused, the collar still over his nose. He emerged fully, knelt, and opened the bin. So we know those aren't sleeping clothes, right? Because they've called him a prisoner. So do we think that they're fucking prison clothes? Shevek paused, the collar still over his nose. He emerged fully, knelt, and opened the bin. It was empty. "Oh, those are cheap pajamas. Service issue. Wear 'em and throw 'em away. It costs less than cleaning." "It costs less," Shevek repeated meditatively. He said the words the way a paleontologist looks at a fossil, the fossil that dates a whole stratum. "I'm afraid your luggage must have gotten lost in that final rush for the ship. I hope there was nothing important in it." "I brought nothing," Shevek said. Though the suit had been bleached almost to white and had shrunk a bit, it still fit, and the harsh, similar touch of holum fiber cloth was pleasant. He felt like himself again. He sat down on the bed facing the door and said, "You see, I know you don't take things as we do. In your world, in Urus, one must buy things. I come to your world, I have no money, I cannot buy. Therefore I should bring. But how much can I bring? Clothing, yes, I might bring 2 suits, but food? How can I bring food enough? I cannot bring, I cannot buy. If I am to be kept alive, you must give it to me. I am an Anarasti. I make the Urasti behave like Anarasti, to give, not to sell. If you like. Of course, it is not necessary to keep me alive. I am the beggarman, you see." "Oh, not at all, sir. No. You're a very honored guest. Please don't judge us by the crew of this ship. They're very ignorant, limited men. You have no idea of the welcome you'll get on Urus. After all, you're a world-famous, galactically famous scientist and our first visitor from Anaris. I assure you." "What? Hold on. What is happening? I'm so into this, you guys. I assure you. Things will be very different when we come into Pierre Field. I do not doubt they will be different, Shevik said. The moon run normally took 4.5 days each way, but this time 5 days. Random space midway through the paragraph. Totally cool. But this time 5 days of habituation time for the passenger were added to the return trip. Shevek and Dr. Kimoe spent them in vaccinations and conversations. The captain of the Mindful spent them in maintaining orbit around Urus and swearing. When he had to speak to Shevek, he did so with uneasy disrespect. The doctor, who was ready to explain everything, had his analysis ready. He's used to looking on all foreigners as inferior, as less than fully human. The creation of pseudo-species, Odo called it. Yes. I thought that perhaps on Ura people no longer thought that way. Since you have there so many languages and nations and even visitors from other solar systems. Very few of those, since Interstellar wow, it's literally Interstellar with one L, space AR. God, I need to get a physical copy of this book, is what I'm learning. Very few of those, since interstellar travel is so costly and so slow. Perhaps it won't always be so, Dr. Kimoe added, evidently with an intent to flatter Shevek or to draw him out, which Shevek ignored. The second officer, he said, seems to be afraid of me. Oh, with him it's religious bigotry. He's a strict interpretation. Infinitus, okay, buddy, not on the keyboard. Recites the primes every night. A totally rigid mind. So he sees me how? As a dangerous atheist. As a dangerous atheist. An atheist? Why? Why, because you're in Odonian from Anaris. There's no religion on Anaris. No religion? Are we stones on Anaris? I mean established religion. Churches, creeds. Kimoe flustered easily. He had the physician's brisk self-assurance, but Shevek continually upset it. All his explanations ended up, after 2 or 3 of Shevek's questions, in floundering. Each took for granted certain relationships that the other could not even see. For instance, this curious matter of superiority and inferiority. Shevek knew that the concept of superiority, of relative height, was important to the Erasti. They often use the word higher as a synonym for better in their writings, where an Anaresti would use more central. But what did being higher have to do with being foreign? It was one puzzle among hundreds. You little furball. I see, he said now. Another puzzle coming clear. See, that says dear instead of clear. What? You admit... Oh, coming dear. You admit no religion outside the churches. Just as you admit no morality outside the laws. You know, I'd never, ever understood that in all my readings of Erasti books. Well, these days, and any enlightened person would admit, the vocabulary makes it difficult, Shevek said, perusing his discovery. In Pravik, the word religion is seldom. No. What do you say? Rare. Not often used. Of course, it is one of the categories, the 4th mode. Few people learn to practice all the modes, but the modes are built of the natural capacities of the mind. You could not seriously believe that we had no religious capacity. That we could do physics while we were cut off from the profoundest relationship man has come with the cosmos? Oh, no, not at all. That would be to make a pseudo-species of us indeed. Oh, interesting. Educated men certainly would understand that. These officers are ignorant. But is it only bigots, then, who are allowed to go out into the cosmos? Oh, fuck, dude. All their conversations were like this. Exhausting to the doctor and unsatisfying to Shevek. Bro! Oh, I love this so much! The fucking inquisitive mind that is just like poking holes in everything and you have no answers for it. Unsatisfying to Shevek, yet intensely interesting to both. They were Shevek's only means of exploring the new world that awaited him. The ship itself and Kimoe's mind were his microscope. There were no books aboard the Mindful. The officers avoided Shevek and the crewmen were kept strictly out of his way. As for the doctor's mind, though intelligent, this is literally Intel space IGENT. I'm doing my best, guys. I'm doing my best. And certainly well-meaning, it was a jumble of intellectual artifacts, even more confusing than all of the gadgets, appliances, and conveniences that filled the ship. These latter Shevek found entertaining. Everything was so lavish, stylish, and inventive. But the furniture of Kimoe's intellect he did not find so comfortable. Kimoe's ideas never seemed to be able to go in a straight line. They had to walk around this and avoid that, and then they ended up smack against a wall. There were walls all around his thoughts, and he seemed utterly unaware of them, though he was perpetually hiding behind them. Only once did Shevek see them breached, in all their days of conversation between the worlds. He had asked why there were no women on the ship, and Kimoe had replied that running a space freighter was not women's work. History courses and his knowledge of Odo's writings gave Shevek a context in which to understand this answer, and he said no more. But the doctor asked a question in return, a question about Aneris. Is it true, Dr. Shevek, that women in your society are treated exactly like men? That would be a waste of good equipment, said Shevek with a laugh, and then a second laugh as the full ridiculousness of the idea grew upon him. The doctor hesitated, evidently picking his way around one of the obstacles in his mind, then looked flustered and said, "Oh no, I didn't mean sexually. Obviously I meant in the matter of their social status." Status is the same as class? Kimoe tried to explain status, failed, and went back to the first topic. Is there really no distinction between men's work and women's work? Well, no. It seems a very mechanical basis for a division of labor, doesn't it? A person chooses work according to interest, talent, strength. What has sex to do with that? Well, men are physically stronger, the doctor asserted with professional finality. Yes, often, and larger. But what does that matter when we have machines? And even when we don't have machines, when we must dig with the shovel, then men maybe work faster, the big ones, but the women can work longer. Often I have wished I was as tough as the woman. Kimoe stared at him, shocked out of politeness. But the loss of everything feminine, of delicacy, and the loss of masculine self-respect. You can't pretend surely in your work that women are your equals. In physics and mathematics and the intellect, you can't pretend to lower yourself constantly to their level. Shevek sat in the cushioned, comfortable chair and looked around the officer's lounge. On the view screen, the brilliant curve of Urus hung still against black space, like a blue-green opal. That lovely sight and the lounge had become familiar to Shevek these last few days. But now the bright colors and the chairs, the hidden lighting, the game tables and the television screens and soft carpeting, all of it seemed as alien as it did the first time he saw it. Wow, that literally reads, as it bad the first time he saw it. Obeyed. Maybe they're missing an E? That doesn't even make sense. What has happened to this ebook? Why is it like this? Can somebody Google what has happened here? Are there any other complaints about this? I don't think I pretend very much, Kimoe, he said. Oh my god. Okay, we're Shevek stands, right? What's happening here? Mergs, I'm with you. Of course, I have known highly intelligent women, women who could think just like a man, the doctor said, hurriedly, aware that he had almost been shouting. That he had, Shevek thought, been pounding his hands against the locked door and shouting. Shevek turned the conversation, but he went on thinking about it. This matter of superiority and inferiority must be a central one in Urasti's social life. If to respect himself, Kimoe had to consider half the human race as inferior to him, how then did women manage to respect themselves? Did they consider men inferior? And how did all of that affect their sex lives? He knew from Odo's writings that 200 years ago, the main Urasti sexual institutions had been marriage, a partnership authorized and enforced by legal and economic sanctions, and prostitution, which seemed merely to be a wider term, copulation in the economic mode. Odo had condemned them both, and yet Odo had been married. And anyhow, the institutions might have changed greatly in 200 years. If he was going to live on Urus and with the Urasti, he had better find out. It was strange that even sex, the source of so much solace, delight, and joy for so many years, could overnight become an unknown territory where he must tread carefully and know his ignorance. Yet it was so. He was warned not only by Kimoe's queer burst of scorn and anger, but by a previously vague impression which that episode brought into focus. When first aboard the ship, in those long hours of fervor and despair, he had been distracted, sometimes pleased, and sometimes irritated by a grossly simple sensation, the softness of the bed. Though only a bunk, its mattress gave under his weight with caressing suppleness. It yielded to him, yielded so insistently that he was still, always conscious of it while falling asleep. Both the pleasure and the irritation it produced in him were decidedly erotic. There was also the hot air nozzle towel device, the same kind of effect of tickling. And the design of the furniture in the officers' lounge, the smooth plastic curves into which stubborn wood and steel had been forced, the smoothness and delicacy of surfaces and textures, were these not also faintly, pervasively erotic? He knew himself well enough to be sure that a few days without Takver, even under great stress, should not get him so worked up that he felt a woman in every tabletop, not unless the woman was really there. Were Urasti's cabinet makers all celibate? And I think that's where we fucking end the read, bro. That's so good. Ah! Excellent. Is this a VTuber reading a book? I mean, it's me. Hello, hi, I'm Pumpkinberry. Oh, I didn't have the book out, guys. Your immersion. Anyway. Yes, Hi, it is I, Pumpkinberry. I sometimes use a VTuber, sometimes I do not, but right now we are because I am fully reclined while I am resting my back from yesterday's really long day. And we are currently trying to decide between two books to read in our book club. And before you think to yourself, oh, hands down, we're reading about Shevek first, wait till you read the next book, because I'm telling you, it's also interesting. All right. So we're going to fade this one out, and I am going to load up a different profile here. What are these books? So title and author. So the first one is Dispossessed by Ursula Le Guin. And unless we can find like a good, like e-reader copy, then I'm going to recommend everybody see if you can grab like a physical copy of the book from your library, or local bookstore or what have you. But somebody was looking it up, so maybe we can find out if it's like one specific copy or if there is a copy that doesn't have these issues. There is a very good audiobook. I listened to the first couple minutes of it. I'm not necessarily an audiobook person. I'm very picky about it. But I do think that it would be very nice to listen to this one. I'm going to recommend everybody check out Libra FM, who wants to audiobook it, because it's basically the same as Audible, except that it supports a local independent bookstore near you instead of Amazon. They're not listening, right? Because I think they're technically our bosses. But anyway, it supports a local independent bookstore. It's about the same cost, like $14 a month. You get the credit. Everything is the same. I believe it is for Europe too. I at least have it in Canada. So I actually, hold on. I think I have a, Bezos has been activated. Yeah, hang tight. I think I have a, can you repeat that name, please? Yes, hold on. I have a referral thing. I don't know what I get from it, if anything, but give me a second. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not paid by them. I wasn't even aware of them until Trenchmouth was like, hey, check this out. And then I was like, yeah, this is great. I signed up. It's amazing. However, we do have the book already listed in the Bookberry Reads public list here. So you can just go to the public list and look at the books that we're considering reading, and it's right there listed for you to grab. I may have already grabbed it, so I don't know if it's on the list anymore. I am... Oh, it won't let... Oh. Okay, well, how do I add it to a list? I bought it, so... It's not letting me add it to the list anymore, but that's okay. Here is the general, like... Ignore the fact that it says wish list. But this is a general list of books that we were looking at and trying to vote between, and we decided on Dispossessed and Bad Cree to choose between. Here is a link right to the audiobook where you can listen to a preview of it. Here, I'll just play
Harper Audio presents The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin.
Oh, motherfucker. Sorry. My bad.
Harper. An adult could look right over it, and even a child could climb it. Where it crossed the roadway, instead of having a gate, it degenerated into mere geometry.
There we go.
Line, an idea of boundary.
Right?
But the idea was real. It was important.
There's like music
For
going
7
on.
generations,
Cool.
there had been nothing in the world more important
Okay.
than that wall.
Get to the part about the tabletop.
Like all walls, it was ambiguous, two-faced.
Okay, so it looks like
What
I
was
do get
inside
free
it
credits
and what
if you
was
guys do
outside
use
it
my referral link, but no
depended
pressure
upon
to
which
do that.
side of it you
But there
were
you
on.
go.
Looked at
It does
from one
support your
side,
local independent
the wall
bookstore, which you get to
enclosed a barren,
choose.
60-acre field
If you don't
called
see
the
one,
Port of An-
then you can have it pick for you. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to read the next little bit of the book here, or the next option, which is Bad Cree. And I know you guys are like, man, I'm sold on this other book. Basically, we're spoiled for choice because both of these books are really good. So far, anyway. I haven't read them, but I read the first couple pages of each just to kind of get a feel for it. Okay. Okay, so maybe I read more than the first couple pages because I'm on page 15 of this one, but it was good, okay? Okay. Can a link be put in the book channel too? Yes, absolutely. Do you have YouTube chat open? I do. I'm so sorry. It's very small font and I'm leaning back. I did respond to, I am reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm on chapter 24 of Dungeon Crawler Carl right now. It's amazing. Have you ever looked at Do You Dream of Electric Sheep? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Never has a more perfect comment come my way. Bro, I have a special edition on my bookshelf. I fucking love Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. It's actually not my favorite Philip K. Dick book, but yes, I ran a Blade Runner show also on Table Story. So if you want to check that out, please go for it. Holy amazing, amazing, amazing. Yes. Love Philip K. Dick. Okay, now, are you ready? We're changing gears a little bit. This one is Bad Cree, okay? By Jessica Johns. Now, I basically, it's her shit. Yeah, basically, I think this is our shit too, you guys. So, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to prep this here. So hold on, because I have read a little bit of this. So I do get to properly prepare us with some background music here. Please hold. Okay, bum, 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 bum. Which one is this one? We want something a little bit chill, but not in the beginning. What do I got? This one might work. Yeah. Okay. I'm holding the lake in my belly. Soaked, I somehow start to make my way home, throwing up a couple more times along the way. Water and bile. Wait a minute. Hold on. Jesus Christ, that's chapter 2. I'm so sorry. I was like, wait, what? That's not how this starts. I somehow accidentally skipped ahead. Please hold. Don't worry. It starts the same way, okay? Before I look down, I know it's there. The crow's head I was clutching in my dream is now in bed with me. I woke up with the weight of it in my hands, held it against my chest under the covers. I can still feel its beak and feathers on my palms. The smell of pine and the tang of blood sting my nose. My pillow feels for a second like the cold, frozen ground under my cheek. I yank off my blanket, heavy, like I'm pulling it back from the past, and look down at my hands, now empty. A feeling of static pulses inside them, like when a dead limb fills with blood again. They are clean and dry and trembling. Shit. Not again. I step gingerly out of bed, as though the world in front of me might break, and turn on the light. Wait for my eyes to adjust. It illuminates my blanket on the floor, the gray sheet kicked into a clump. Every breath I take is labored, and when I blink, my dream flashes into the back of my eyelids, running through the woods, the snow glistening in the clearing, the crows covering Sabrina's body. Heart thumping in my chest, I kneel next to the bed, how I imagine I might if I were to pray. Come on, I plead into the covers. Where are you? I feel across the bedsheet for anything. Blood, feathers, twigs, small bones. My fingers shake and search by touch in between pillows into every crease and wrinkle of the fitted sheet. I turn on the flashlight on my phone and use it to look into the shadows. But I find nothing. My shirt, when I bring it up to my nose, smells like the outside in winter, like pine trees and sharp cold. You son of a bitch! Come on! I kick the blanket to the side and put my cheek to the floor, scanning underneath the bed and the bedside table. Dust and crumbs sit forgotten in dry corners. An old plate, mold forming along the ridges, lies next to holy socks. I close my eyes. My awake mind is trying to fog the dream over, shake it away, but I hold on to it. I know it was there, in my hand, as real as the floor still against my cheek. I was holding a crow's head when I woke up. I can still smell the blood in the bedroom air and feel where its beak pressed into my palm, right above my heart line. Throbbing and hot. I think of the dream while I shower. I lather shampoo into my hair and rinse, watch the brown strands circle the drain. This is the third dream in 3 weeks, the third time I've brought something back with me. In the first 2 dreams, I brought back branches. I broke them off the trees as I was running through the woods in a panic. The first time it happened, the branch disappeared as soon as I woke up and looked down at it. The second time, the moon was big and full outside, and I caught a glimpse of the flimsy stick gripped between my palms. That time, I held on tight, but it still disappeared. I had hoped that if I held on hard enough, I would understand how I could have a pine bough in my hands when the last pine tree I'd seen was 1,000 kilometers away in Alberta. I closed my eyes and let the warm water stream against my face, but I'm still shivering against the memory of last night. In my dream, I was in the middle of the winter woods, wearing only what I wore to bed that night, an old t-shirt and sweats. I cursed at myself for not following my idea after the last dream to wear shoes and something warmer to bed. At least it was better than the first dream, when I went to sleep naked. I was surrounded by bone-thin pine, spruce, and balsam trees, browning at the base up to their torsos, sparse with white snow near the top. I let out a small gasp of surprise to find myself in the same woods again, my breath forming in front of me in an icy puff. Oh my God, what have I walked into? Hello! We're reading. Story time. We're choosing between two books that we're going to read next. And this is, we just read the first little bit of Dispossessed by Ursula Le Guin, and now we are reading Bad Cree by Jessica Johns. You have arrived just in time. It really just began. There were no footprints in the fresh snow around me, as if I blinked into existence in that exact spot. The wind whipped hard, carrying an icy whistle past my ears. In the moonlight, the trees cast shadows so tall they swallowed the land whole. My breath caught in my throat, and the urge to run itched across my spine. Shit, I whispered to myself as I stepped in place, giving each foot a second's break from the freezing ground. The whistle from the wind, quiet at first, grew louder until it was shrieking. This had happened in 2 dreams before, too. A scream like someone was on fire came from a trail opening in the brush that snaked between the trees behind me. I pulled my arms tighter around myself and crouched in place, trying to conserve my body heat. My arms were starting to redden, the frigid slap of the wind already working its way through me. I pressed my chin into my collarbone and squeezed my eyes shut. 1, 2, 3. I tried my old trick of closing my eyes and counting to wake myself up from nightmares, but I knew it wouldn't work. It hadn't worked the last 2 times either. When the screaming started to get closer, I turned toward it and found myself facing the trail. Even though I was terrified, I knew I had to try something different this time. In the other dreams, I had run in the opposite direction, away from the sound, waiting in the snow through the woods. But last night, I walked the trail toward the sound, my feet crunching in the snow, the scream getting louder with every step. The trail ended abruptly, opening into a circular clearing lined by pine trees. Icicles weighed down the branches, shaping them into clawed hands, and finally I saw the sound's source. A body splayed on the ground in the middle of the clearing. Dark shadows blotted it like a moving Rorschach. The shadows grew and shifted, and I saw flashes of hair and limbs, but then, in a blink, they were covered again. It took me a second to realize I wasn't looking at shadows. It was crows. A whole murder of them, moving over the body. I opened my eyes under the streaming showerhead and let the water sting them. My chest pounds with an ache and I sit down, the slightly clogged drain making the tub begin to fill around me. Okay, wake up now, I had thought to myself in the dream. The crow's caws started to rumble deep, drowning out the body's long, endless scream. As they fluttered, I caught sight of the face and gasped. Horror crawled up my Horror crawled up and planted itself in my throat. My sister Sabrina lay unmoving, her open mouth unleashing the shriek that had been reaching deep inside my gut. The shock that gripped me in place suddenly loosened, and I ran to her, my feet slipping on the frozen ground. I yelled as I got closer, startling the birds just enough for me to reach out and touch her face. Sabrina looked like she'd been long dead. Her once brown skin was now white, drained of all blood. Her hair was gray and stuck to the snow under her head. Her eyes were slightly open and milky white, looking past me. Her dry lips frozen into a perfect O. Her skin, too, was ice cold. Her clothes, a flannel shirt and jeans, were disheveled and torn. The crows were cawing so vehemently around me it sounded like battle cries. They beat their wings in my face, trying to push me back, but I batted them away. Sabrina's scream never stopped, not even for a breath. "Get away from her!" I yelled, tearing at the crows with such ferocity that feathers flew into the air and stuck to my sweating skin. Black barbs leaked between my fingers as I swatted and grabbed at the crows, their small bodies thrashing and pecking at my hands. I was losing myself in a swarm of black, but no matter how many I threw off her body, more seemed to materialize in their place. And then I saw it, a hole as big as my first, just below Sabrina's collarbone. The bone white of her sternum glistened against blood. A crow, perched on Sabrina's chest, was tearing at the insides of the wound, its beak coming away with skin and veins. I screamed and kept swiping at the crows until some finally started to fly away. Sabrina's heart, exposed to the world, beat and beat and beat. The crow finally stopped its pecking to look at me. Its dark eyes reflected the moon above us, another hole in the chest of the world. Before more crows came back, I grabbed it around the neck, its feathers short and sharp in my hand, and with rage pulsing through my body, I bent its head backwards and in one quick motion broke its neck. The snap of the bone splitting in two rang through the air as I pulled the head from the crow's body, blood covering my hands. Sabrina's scream stopped, and the few birds that were left took off like dust being thrown back into the air. When I looked back down, Sabrina's face had gone slack. Her eyes and mouth were closed like a zipper. I dropped the crow's body from one hand and reached toward her, but then I felt a tug against my spine, like an invisible rope pulling. Before I could touch her, the rope tugged again, harder, and I was back in my bed. The crow's head, its beak pressing into my palm and its warm blood on my skin, still in my hand. At the thought of Sabrina, a cave I've tried to keep hidden somewhere deep in my body opens up. Her unrelenting scream echoes through me, stretching back in time. I sob into the bathtub, wet hair clinging to my cheeks. After a few moments, I grab the bar of ivory soap and lather it between my palms. A stinging and a cut I can't see starts in the bed of my hand and travels through my arm, inches into my armpit, slides into my heart. I reasoned away the first two dreams. I told myself I was still dreaming when I thought I was awake, that it was all in my head. Now, fear settles in me like sediment at the bottom of a lake. I can't reason this away anymore. The hurt is still in my palm, even if the crow's head isn't. I get out of the shower and slowly dry off. Take my time putting on clothes, an old band t-shirt and faded jeans, trying to slow my breath. It only kind of works. I hear a caw from outside my apartment window. When I pull back the curtains, I see 3 crows sitting on the telephone pole, easing into the backdrop of Vancouver spring. Now that's something else about the past 3 weeks. The crows. All of a sudden, they're everywhere I look. They've started showing up on the telephone pole in my alleyway. Every morning, I wake up to their caws. I I swear they're watching me. Through the windows, I can see their heads turn to follow me as I move across the apartment. A rush of guilt heats my neck as I remember the feeling of a spine snapping in my hands. I skip breakfast and rush out. My body vibrates with adrenaline, but all that's around me are flowers and a breeze carrying the smell of the ocean a couple of blocks away. I jog to Whole Foods. How come you guys have Whole Foods? Is it West Coast? Ah, that's annoying. I jog to the... I'm so sorry. And this is why you listen. This is why you get the audiobook version and not the PB version, okay? I jog to Whole Foods, passing old heritage houses that have been converted into fourplexes and apartments. I bet it's because it's West Coast. It's my day off, but I know Jolie is working and I want to see someone familiar, ground myself in reality again. When I walk into the store, I spot them at the far till. Their back is to me, their thick, dark hair straight and loose. They are ringing through an elderly couple, wearing matching visors when they look back at me, like they could feel it, that I walked in. "Mackenzie!" they yell across the long rows of tills, startling the couple into a jump. They laugh and it comforts me like a blanket. I exhale a breath that I hadn't noticed I'd been holding and walk over to them. "You're not even here this early when you're scheduled to be," they say, arching their eyebrows. When I first moved to Vancouver, Mom reached out to Jolie's mom, Diane, a friend of a cousin who worked as instructor at the Native Education College. "So you aren't alone," Mom said. But I knew it was far more for her peace of mind than for me. Cree people aren't great at being subtle. As soon as she met me, Diane wrapped me in a hug so tight I forgot myself for a minute. She helped me find a small bachelor apartment. Not an easy thing to do in Vancouver, where homes are empty and unaffordable and the cost of living is triple what it is in my hometown. But she knew a landlord renting a place for extra cheap since they started at the SkyTrain construction right next to it. Any maintenance on the building had just simply stopped since it would be torn down eventually anyways. So I try to live as small and quietly as I can, in hopes that they forget I'm there. Diane also got me to volunteer when she needed help at the college for a while. Best of all, though, was that she introduced me to Jolie. Jolie was my age, early 20s and tall, with a round face that drew in light like the moon draws in the tide. "Excuse me?" "Whoa, okay. Oh, I like that." They and Diane are Squamish. Jolie reminds me of my older twin sisters, Sabrina and Tracy, though they're nothing like either of them. It's funny when our minds parallel when we want something bad enough. For the first... Oh, what does that mean? Is Sabrina already dead, dude? Huh. Hold on, go back. Jolie reminds me of my older twin sisters, Sabrina and Tracy, though they're nothing like either of them. It's funny what our minds will parallel when we want something bad enough. Okay, I think that maybe either means I've immediately jumped to the conclusion that Sabrina's already dead, but that's absolute madness. I think all it means is that she's fucking homesick. She's gone to college and she's homesick. And I have PTSD. For the first couple of months in Vancouver, I spent almost every night having dinner with Diane and Jolie. Diane lives halfway between Vancouver and Squamish, and Jolie has a place in Vancouver with 4 other roommates. They moved out of their mom's house when they started doula training at Vancouver College. I ate a lot of meals at Diane's house, laughing with the two of them. They are both so loud. Could call across the ocean and still be heard, I'm sure of it. But the loud comforts me. I know I'll never worry about losing them anywhere. I walk up to Jolie as they're handing off brown bags of groceries to the couple. They flip their hair and look me up and down. That band hasn't played a show since the early 2000s. Oh, ow. 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 Okay. Okay. Whew. Bro. I was not expecting that. I guess we're vintage. Fuck. That's psychic damage. Yeah. Holy shit, man. Okay. Ow. I shrug. Oh no, I can't read this line. Reread that, please. They flip their hair and look me up and down. That band hasn't played a show since the early 2000s. I shrug. Guess that makes them a classic. Guess that makes them a classic. Cool. Motherfuck me. Oh my God. All right. You know, fine. Fucking fine. Jolie smirks and looks at me a little closer. Everything all right? Their eyes flit around me knowingly. When I got my first place, Jolie and I walked the back streets together looking for furniture. Rich people throw out perfectly usable things. As we shifted through chipped lamps and coffee tables next to the recycling bins, they told me about their family, filling alleyways with the echo of story. God damn, that's another good line. They also showed me all the good pubs, the Vancouver bands to care about and the ones to ignore. They could read the city like my kokum used to read the land. Could tell from the cracks in the sidewalk how far we were from their favorite queer bar, and where to avoid because of the cops. When I moved into my place, they gave me sage and an abalone shell. Said even if I didn't smudge, it was always good to have, just in case. It happened again, didn't it? They can read it on my face. My fear must be etched all over. I nod, rub my palms together. After the second dream, I told Jolie about what had been happening. They are the only person who knows. This time it wasn't a branch. It was a head. A crow's head. Hello? Is this still open? A customer has walked up to Jolie's till, plopping her organic peaches down onto the conveyor belt. It's a man, but I didn't know that, so I said it as a woman, so I've gender swapped it. Sorry. A head. A head? Jolie whispers, their eyes widening. They ignore the customer behind them. The same thing happened as the last two dreams when I woke up. I continue. As soon as I looked down. Excuse me? Peach's girl clears her throat. Jolie doesn't turn around and instead keeps staring at me, waving a hand over their shoulder as if they were buzzing away a fly. I look over their shoulder and shake my head. I'll tell you everything after work. If you're caught ignoring a customer again, you're going to get fired. Jolie rolls their eyes and tisks. Fine, but I'm calling you as soon as I'm done. They give me a squeeze on my arm before turning back to the till. I feel a wave of comfort at their touch. Thank you so much for waiting, they say in their customer service voice. Do you need a bag? I turn to head out the doors, looking back once more as I leave the comfort of Jolie. I had planned on doing some errands today, filing my taxes, late for the third year in a row, and getting groceries. Oh, hey guys, look, it's a fucking M-dash. You fucking uneducated heathen that are calling the M-dash the goddamn dash of Chat GPT. It's an M-dash. Perfectly used. Filing my taxes, late again for the third year in a row, and getting groceries. But I feel exposed. An open wound walking around. I go back to my apartment instead. Huh? Oh my God. Listen, it's my favorite form of punctuation, and lately people have been like calling it the Chat GPT dash because apparently Chat GPT will frequently use an M dash. And it's sent a lot of people into a rage, myself being one of them. Yikes. I don't think you should pick an author who used ChatGPT. Okay, I'm so sorry. I have been interrupting this more than I did the other one. I apologize, but hey, again, audiobook exists. Okay. I go back to my apartment instead. Inside, the exposed feeling doesn't go away. I prop my laptop on the counter and put on an old don't you fucking dare. Put on an old playlist. A mix of emo songs I've been listening to since high school. And start... A mix of old emo songs I've been listening to since high school and start deep cleaning my fridge. Since I moved in, the apartment has never been silent. I thought at first I'd love the quiet. My parents' house was always full of people and noise. Somebody was always in my business. I thought breaking away from that would be a relief. It wasn't. Not even for a day. There was something about the absence of sound and the acute feeling that I was really truly alone that left me on edge. Maybe my body wasn't at home in quiet. Maybe it needed the rumble and movement of voices and people. Now I have playlists for every task, and I listen to audiobooks when I try to fall asleep at night. It's Brad Wodo. The books themselves don't matter either. It's really Brad Wodo. What matters is that I'm never alone, not even for a second. Ding, 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 ding. I'm just saying this in case he's left the fucking stream open and can hear it. Not even when I do eventually drift to sleep and could not possibly be aware of how alone I am anymore. Also, hi, Whack Steven. I would whack Steven. I'm just saying how many subs for Whack reads for Whack Club. What? Whack a book? Okay. I'm done. I'm sorry. Ah! Oh, fuck. Okay. Okay. Whack Club sounds like it'd be against TOS, I know. A book to whack to? With your voice, the temptation is really there, Whack. Holy. Okay. While I fill the sink with soap and hot water, I throw out old vegetables, shriveled up ginger at the back of the fridge, cans of half-eaten beans, a moldy piece of cheese. But Sabrina's face, frozen and unseeing, keeps flashing across my mind. Her hair, splayed against the white snow, her sharp jaw angled to the sky. When the sink is half full, I start cleaning the dirty dishes that have piled up on my counter. The lemon dish soap can't mask the smell of winter and trees still fresh in my mind. I blink and see the crows again, covering Sabrina's body. Suffocate for a moment under the feeling of fluttering wings against my face. The feel of her frozen skin. The perfect O of her mouth while she was being torn open. I shake my head to dislodge my memory. When the dirty dishes are done, I pull out the clean ones from the cupboards and scour them too. I wash every cup and plate I own until my knuckles are rubbed raw. By the end of the day, I've cleaned most of my apartment. Everything smells like lemon and the artificial orange of Lysol. The 3 crows on the back alley telephone pole are still perched, watching me, cawing low to each other. The place looks cleaner than when I moved in, but my body still hasn't scabbed over. Just after 6, Jolie calls. I pick up on the second ring. What's going on over there? It sounds like you're having the saddest party ever. I turn down the music and dry my hands on a dirty tea towel. Just doing some cleaning. I sit on my bed, grabbing my blanket from the floor. From here, I can still keep an eye on the crows outside. There's a beat of silence, and I hear the jingle of Jolie's keys. They'd be walking to their car after their shift. Oh God, nothing better happened to Jolie. Holy PTSD, Batman. They stay silent, waiting for me to continue. I sigh and tell them everything that happened in the dream. Oh, they breathe out, and there's no mistaking the sympathy in their voice. And that's the first time Sabrina has been in the dreams? Yeah, I say. Isn't it the anniversary? Oh, bitch! What? We were right. Okay? We called it. We called it. We called it. And this is why you should listen to the audiobook, which you can get from Libra FM. Okay. Let's see. Isn't it the anniversary? This isn't some unresolved trauma shit, I cut in. This is something else. I woke up with a dead crow head in my hands, Jolie. Okay, they say. I have to say it again. You need to call your mom. I sigh and pull the blanket up over my knees. When I first told Jolie about the dreams, this was their suggestion. The thought of it makes my stomach clench. Or at least tell your Auntie Doreen or Auntie Verna, they rush on. I'm gonna be an auntie. Not the same kind, obviously. I'm referring to I'm gonna have a niece or a nephew. And they're talking about Cree culture. Or at least tell your Auntie Doreen or Auntie Verna, they rush on. I don't want to worry anyone, I say. I smooth the blanket across my legs. Calling Mom's younger sisters was a much better option than calling my mom, though. Look, I don't know much about you Crees, but if these visions are... They're not visions, I interrupt. Well, you keep saying that they aren't, so what are they? I don't know, I say, gripping the phone tighter. All the more reason to call someone. Are the crows still following you? I glance outside. Yeah, creepy bastards. Hey, don't go around cursing crows over there. Besides, you did decapitate one of their friends. They're quiet for a moment, and I hear their car rumble and start. You call an auntie, or I need to talk to my mom. Don't tell Diane, I say. Whether I tell my aunts or Jolie's mom, it'll get back to my mom eventually. I sigh. I'll call someone. Now? Yes, now. Get off the phone and focus on the road. Okay, go back to your sad music, damn sentimental Crees. I laugh and hang up, lest the ease of talking to Jolie sit in my chest. I close the living room curtains, even though the sun is only just starting to dip low in the sky, casting the world in a deep orange. I don't want to feel watched anymore. I stare at my phone for a few minutes before finally calling Auntie Doreen. What'd I tell you about calling on Thursdays, Mackenzie? She shouts into the phone when she answers. I can hear the bingo caller's voice echo in the background. I look at the time again. It's an hour ahead in High Prairie. Shit! Sorry, Auntie. Bingo night. I forgot. This is important, though. More important than a $10,000 dual dab? I don't think so. She hangs up on me. Okay, I love this woman. She hangs up on me, and I wait for her to call me back because I know she will, right? There was concern in her voice. Even though we talk at least once a week, I know never to call on bingo nights. I was 2 numbers away and starting to sweat, she says when I answer her call a half hour later. What are you calling for, my girl? Text me like a regular person. Woohoo! We love her. We love Auntie. Oh my God. Text me like a regular person. I've been having some really weird dreams, I say. Really weird dreams. She laughs. That's a bit vague. I swallow into the phone. This is going to sound fucked up, but stay with me. I sigh and blink, see the flash of pine boughs in front of me, and hear the crunch of snow under my feet. I had a couple dreams where I was running through the woods, grabbing at tree branches and shoving them aside, trying to get through. But when I woke up, I was still holding onto sticks, like I brought them back from the dream. When I blinked, they disappeared. She's quiet for a while, and I almost think she's hung up again. When she sighs, I see. I pace my small apartment, lapping the entire space in a few steps. She's quiet still, and I hear the flick of a lighter, quiet talking and laughter from her end of the phone. She must be outside the Friendship Center, smoking during bingo break. I imagine her thin fingers pulling out a cigarette in the parking lot and lighting it, smoke curling around her face and her shoulder-length permed hair. That's not all. My voice is quiet. She inhales deeply. Creator, what else? I tell her about what happened in the dream the night before, the crow's head and seeing Sabrina. She's silent again, and I listen to her puff on the cigarette. And did you think I'd have an answer? She says, finally. It's my turn to be silent now. My girl, I might be an old Indian, but I'm not a goddamn dream oracle. That's all really fucked up. She laughs, her loud laugh, and I laugh with her. I feel the weight of the day lift off my body. We're quiet again for a moment. Auntie, do you believe me? I ask. She clicks her tongue and exhales, and I imagine her rubbing at her jaw, the way she does when she's thinking. As a kid, you used to freak me out. Sometimes when you and your sisters would have sleepovers at my place, you'd wake up in the morning and your eyes wouldn't see me. Like they hadn't left the dream yet. I suck in a sharp breath, study my palm as I let out what she's saying settle. I can still feel the beak, Auntie. It's like a cut is underneath my skin. The background noises start to slow and quiet. Auntie's every inhale is deeper than the last. Her short frame is probably leaning against the outside walls of the building, strong enough to hold it up if she needed to, nodding at her friends and enemies as they head back inside. I keep pacing my apartment and glance to the closed curtains. Also, this might be unrelated, but some crows have started following me around. Auntie laughs again, loud. Unrelated? Crows are following you, and then you murder one in your dreams. Keep your eyes on them. Jolie called them visions, I say. I think about the dreams, the panic in my stomach as I ran, a feeling deep somewhere that I was missing something. But they almost feel like memories. Are they? Auntie asks. No, I say. I think I'd remember Sabrina being attacked by a murder of crows or killing one with my bare hands. I need to think on this some more, Auntie says. You should call your mom. The back of my neck burns at the mention of Mom again, and I keep pacing. She and I haven't spoken in months. Yeah, I've been getting that advice lately. It's been 3 years since I moved away from High Prairie. Mom didn't like that I moved in the first place. Before I left, she came out to the back of the house to find me putting soil into a bottle. She shook her head and watched me. Your body carries home just as much as the land. I sat in the dirt and looked up at her, feeling small, a child again. I know. I watched her walk back into the house, her short graying hair catching sunlight. Now here I am, far from home with a bottle of prairie soil still on my nightstand. It's the worst kind of loss for a Cree mom, splitting apart from her child. For her, it turned out to be the first nightmare of many. Well, if you don't call to tell her this, call to check in, Auntie says, her voice higher than usual, trying to be casual. I nod into the phone, knowing she can't see me. I gotta go back in, my girl. Stella will steal my good dabber if I'm gone for too long. We laugh again, and it's all the medicine I need. I hear the scraping of her foot against concrete, stamping out her cigarette. Ooh, this is a Cree word that I don't know how to say, but we're gonna try. Kisa Ki Heaton. Let me look it up. We're gonna Google it because we're learning today. Please hold. And we're going to be traumatized when we realize there's nothing online because languages are dying. Okay. Okay, it means you love me or you are loved by me. Okay, but can we get pronunciation? Kisa kihitin. Oh, wow. Kisa kihitin. Kisa kihitin. Oh, that's cute. Okay, wait. We might have it here. Do they say it here?
Hello, my friends. Today's word is love. Sagahituin.
Sakahituin.
Kisagihitin.
Kisa kihitin. Oh, wow. Wait. Do that again.
I love Kisagihitin. I love you.
Kisa kihitin. Okay, cool. No, we're not doing the vote on stream. We're going to do the vote in Discord, Unchechio. So just make sure to check the Bookberries channel after. Okay. Kisaki Hitten, she says. I'll call you soon and tell me if it happens again. I love you too. When we hang up, she sends me praying hands emoji and a shooting star. I respond with a thumbs up. Have a good day, Unchechio. I eat a couple of old chips from my cupboard for dinner, not hungry enough for anything anymore. When it gets late, I can't put it off anymore. I take my time getting ready for bed, scared of where sleep might take me. I slide my jeans off slowly, pull my shirt over my head, and hold the cotton in my hands, rub it across my palms, soothing the faint burn under my skin. I stare at my hands until they blur before pulling on a thick sweater and sweatpants, a double pair of socks, in case the dreams take me again. I leave the light on when I get into bed and pull the covers up under my chin. It's only then I realize I'd been getting ready in complete silence. No music or audiobook playing. Outside, a crow caws. I don't want to fall asleep for fear of where I'll end up. I think back to my conversations with Jolie and Auntie Doreen. I know they believe me, but the way their voices changed when I mentioned Sabrina makes me doubt. They know as well as I do that in 6 weeks, it will be a year since Sabrina died. I wish I'd fought harder, through the crows, ran faster, got to her earlier. Something crumbles inside me and I sob into my pillow. Not even in my dreams could I save her. And that is the end of chapter 1 of Bad Cree by Jessica Johns. Now, some interesting lore around this book. It is, well, that's sad. Yeah. It is written by a Cree woman who went to school, by the way, for writing. She got a master's degree in writing. And everyone had told her, I mean, it's well known. If you didn't know this, it's frequently said that you do not write about dreams. Don't write about dreams. You're going to lose your reader, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No one gives a shit about dreams. They care about their own dreams, but they don't care. It's also a meme here in this channel. Don't write about dreams. And she said that, obviously dreams are a huge part of her Cree culture. And one day she just decided, you know what, why am I just letting these people tell me what the right thing to do is and like how to write a novel? I'm just going to write something that is, both like personal to me, that's steeped in Cree culture, and that does involve dreams. And she wrote this book, won a bunch of awards for it. Yeah, Don't Tell Me What to Do. It's her first novel. I highly recommend everybody go take a look at it. Once again, it's Bad Cree by Jessica Johns. I think it's even Indigenous Celebration Month as well. So like that, I mean, it's a great time to pick up the book and read it. It's any time's a good time to pick up the book and read it, but I'm just saying it might be easier for you to get your hands on right now, as fucked up as that is. But yes, it's Bad Cree by Jessica Johns. And the first book that we read was The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. So now you have the tough choice of deciding which one of these we're going to read for the book club. for Bookberries. Yay! I'm so glad I'm not the one deciding. So I'm going to give you a couple of links here. We're going to link to it in the channel as well. But just in case you decide not to join the Discord, that's totally fine, by the way. But if you don't want to do that, I want to link it in the chat here for you as well, so that you can get your copies. Okay, so that's the link to the Bookberries channel in the Discord, where we're going to put up a vote after the stream, and you can choose between here. I'm actually just going to do it right now. I don't know how the poll was done. How was the poll done? I forget how to do that. Can I do a poll? I have no idea. I'm just going to do the standard thing here, which is we'll do 2 different reactions. The plus sign. Oh, okay. Plus sign. Create poll. Thank you. Okay. Which book for Bookberries? The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. And Bad Cree by Jessica Johns. Okay. Duration, we'll do 24 hours, yeah? Bam. There you go. The vote is present. I am going to, right after this, I'm going to link to where we were reading it so people can listen. I have Whole Foods here. I'm in Georgia. Yeah, we don't have, well, I think it depends on where you are in Canada, apparently, for the Whole Foods. Both at the same time, alternating chapters. I mean, here's the thing, Kersey. We can read one and then immediately read the other. There's no problem with that. And let's see. I'm going to also link per request the Libra or Libro FM here. Hold on. Which is basically for you audiobook listeners. It is, both of them are available here on audiobook. It is basically the same thing as Audible, where you pay monthly and you get free credits and all that, and you get discounts on buying more than just the free one that you get a month, except that it supports a local independent bookstore. We have a Bookberry Reads list where Bad Cree is listed, so you can grab it right from there. I bought the Le Guin one, so unfortunately it's not listed. I'll see if I can find a way to have like a list that isn't a wish list. But here we go. Okay, bam, bam, bam. There's a Whole Foods in Toronto, peeps. Yes, Toronto is a massive place, though, and I don't want to spend however long, an hour, on public transit getting to Whole Foods. All I want is the peanut butter. There's the peanut butter that they have that I don't even know if they have anymore. Okay, so I linked the Libro FM, and I'm going to link... If I understand, one is sci-fi philosophical and the other is dream intrigue. Yeah. Is there a place to recommend books for future reads? Yep, all in the Bookberries channel. We're being super casual because I'm also on chapter 24 of Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is amazing. I just finished reading The Devils. I've also really enjoyed The Will of the Many, and some people are reading that in there right now. So even if none of these books are your jam, that's totally fine. You can join us while you It's so good, Whack. It's unreal good. I have like binged so much of it in 2 days. Just a quick read of the 43 of Discworld. Discworld's on my list as well. A bunch of us are reading Will of the Many at the moment, it seems. Yes, there are a bunch. Oh, I should jump in on the Will of the Many. Yeah, so basically what we're doing in the Bookberries channel is we're doing the same method as we do on Table Story, which is if you're going to comment on the book, please do, but just put which book you're reading and then cover what you're about to say with spoilers. And then that way people who have read that book or are reading that book with you can have a conversation on that book specifically and yada, yada, yada. We may end up adding like threads in there, but honestly, I think this is fine. Chapter numbers are fine, but also spoiler-free like plot points, you can do that too. I just read the first 100 pages of Will of the Many. It's so good. It's very, very, very good. I've heard so many people recommending Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's excellent. It's really good. In fact, hold on. Just 1 second, okay? Dungeon Crawler Carl, I'm not actually reading. I'm listening to. And again, I'm extremely picky with my audiobooks, but you need to listen to this, okay? Let's see if I can... I'm going to pull up... I don't actually know if it's on Libro. It might not be because I think it's an Audible special. I think Audible snatched it up. Yeah, they did. Okay, hold on. That's okay. I still have it, and I'm going to play it for you, but I'm going to go back to the beginning so you don't get spoiled on anything. Can I open it?
This is Audible.
Sound Booth Theater presents Dungeon Crawler Carl. Written by Matt Dinneman. Narrated by Jeff Hayes. Chapter 1. The transformation occurred at approximately 2:23 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
I'm sorry. It's
as far
like...
as I could tell, pretty much anyone who was indoors when it happened was instantly killed.
Oh.
If you had any sort of roof over you, you were dead. That included people in cars, airplanes, subways, even tents and cardboard boxes. Hell, probably umbrellas too. Though, I'm not so sure about that one. I'm not gonna lie, you guys who were inside, probably warm and asleep and dreaming about some random bullshit. I'm jealous. You're the lucky ones. You were just gone, splattered into dust during the transformation. It was a Tuesday, and the calendar had just ticked over to January 3rd. A terrible winter storm had descended on North America, and half the country was buried in snow and ice.
Okay, I am so scared to play any more than that because I don't want to get in trouble because it is Audible. But it's basically a post-apocalyptic D&D campaign. Yeah, it's like a dungeon crawler. Which, have you read all the books? No, I'm on chapter 24 of the first book, but I definitely recommend this first book. It's amazing. It's excellent. So Dunan, I mean, there's no rush to spend your credits. So you could grab that one. You could also grab the book that Meyer read. I'm just saying that Meyer has a book. I've purchased it twice. I purchased it on Audible and also on Libro. I guess that's one way to get back into reading 8 books. Honestly, I've been kind of craving that. I want something that's an easy read that has like a huge series to it, like maybe Dresden Files or something like that, where I can just go bam, 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 you know? What is his book? It is A Storm of, hold on, we're pulling it up here. A Song of Legends Lost by M.H. Allende. Now, the Meyer is incredibly good, guys, with the fucking narration. Like, blew me. I mean, we all knew that, but blew me away with his narrating. But the editor cut it up weird. So sometimes there's a weird space before Meyer ends a sentence. It's really weird. I don't know why it is that way, but it's not very often. But yeah. So anyway, this is very exciting, and I'm very excited. Also, is my baby sister in here? Dramatic pause. Yes. So I will say that that's there, but if you want to listen to Meyer read to you, you have that. You can have that for 20 hours, 13 hours. He will read you a book. Okay. So I lost my train of thought here. We were talking about the books and what we're reading. Oh, and how casual our book club is going to be. Yes, I was yelling at you for starting a book club without telling me. Well, because it's going to be casual, Griffin. It's going to be very casual because some of us have PTSD, some of us have ADHD, and we have authority problems, and being told what to read ruins the book. So it's a very casual book club where a bunch of us are reading a bunch of different books. And we're basically reading. You have a reading buddy, okay? That's it. That's what you've got. So I read the first little bit, I tried anyway, of The Dispossessed of Ursula K. Le Guin. My ebook was not doing so well, so I'm going to see if I can get another copy of that book. But then we also read Bad Cree by Jessica Johns. Both are incredible, and I don't know how we're going to decide. And I'm so glad it's not my problem and that you guys are picking for us. Excellent. Love it. She's saying you can't handle this book club. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that at all, but you should start Will of the Many because a bunch of people are reading it right now. So the books that I see floating around actually in the book club, we've got Will of the Many going, Dungeon Crawler Carl book 1. We've got some people are reading through Brandon Sanderson's stuff as well, so they're talking about that too. Yeah, there's just a lot of chatter in there that makes me really happy to see. So, and just to be clear, if it wasn't already super clear, we do not care if you are reading a physical copy or if you're listening to an audiobook. It's reading one and the same. So yeah, please feel free to come in. We are having a grand old fucking time, I'm telling you. And please decide for me which book I'm going to read next because I can't decide. Okay, it is now 1:28. I have to go because I have to take my cat to the vet. This was great. I was going to play Blueprints after this, but reading took a lot of time. 1, how is this? Do we like this? Is this okay? Shall we do more days like this? I won't be able to read an entire book to you guys because obviously, copyright reasons and, audiobooks exist. Oh no, is Kitty okay? Yes, everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's Atlas. Just gonna take him in to get looked at. I would like to tell you my boyfriend said your VTuber gave him Angela Anaconda vibes. Amazing. Mergs, are you here? Did you hear it? Yep, this is cool. Okay, because I thought this is a perfect way to do like PB reads. We do just a checkup. Yep. We do the first one, which is, I'll just read one chapter of each book that we're trying to decide between in the book club. And then that way we've got PB reads, and then you guys have no excuse as to deciding between which book before you buy. You know what I mean? Or check it out from the library. Okay. Cool. Fuck yeah. I genuinely do not know which one to pick from that. Okay. Gonna have to finally search my bookshelf that I've been telling myself I do for the past year. For what? What are you looking for? The Dispossessed? Okay. To buy a bookshelf, I mean. Oh, hell yeah. I just got Moz. I just got the ones from IKEA that are like a corner bookshelf, and it is I will show you. I will put a picture in the Discord. It's awesome. Okay, I'm going away now, even though I don't want to. I adore you all so very much. Tomorrow is Thursday. We will be back with I have no idea what we're doing tomorrow. Honestly. We're either going to be doing maybe some Dune roleplay, or we're going to be doing some blueprints. One of those two things is probably going to happen. But I adore you all so very, very, very much. I'm going to find somebody who's streaming something cool. And we're going to go say hello. I know exactly where we're going. We're going to go say hi to Colo, who's playing Baldur's Gate 3, which means my sister's going to have to bail due to spoilers. But she will take a moment to say hi to everybody first, because she's awesome. Ashen, have a good day, BB. Thanks for the stream. Thank you guys for hanging out so much. We're going to go say hi to my friend Colo, whom I love and adore. And once again, thank you guys so much for being so understanding during my back. I mean, it was a pretty long stream today anyway, but it had to be short because Tuesdays really mess with me at the moment. So, mwah, 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 mwah. I'll see you tomorrow and in the Discord for book club.